Peggy 18.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Global Esports Reveal, coming to you live from Gamescom in Germany. I'm Scott Lowe from Activision, and tonight we've got an incredible show in store. We've assembled some of the best Call of Duty players in the world to bring you the first ever competitive gameplay in Black Ops 3. We'll also get a first look at some of the big new esports features launching with the game on November 6th. And who better to talk to about that than the man himself, Mr. David Vonderhaar, Studio Design Director at Treyarch.
Thank you so much. It's really exciting for all of us to be here for sure. Tonight, we are going to see some very talented players from all over the world showcase the game live on PlayStation 4s. Thank you to Sony for all of your support. On top of the live gameplay, we get to share some of the new things that we have in the game on the esports front. Now, this is something that the team at Treyarch has been focused on for the last 3 years, so it's really cool for all of us to finally share all of it with you and the world.
All right, now before we get too far into the esports, as much as I'm really excited about it, let's kind of recap what the core innovations to multiplayer are.
So there's a lot going on in the game, as you guys all know. So we're obviously super excited that the fans get to play Black Ops 3 here in Cologne, but we all know, hopefully by now, about the new momentum-based movement system. That's the system that lets players fluidly thrust, jump, and wall run, and swim, and navigate through the world. There's also the specialist system. And the specialist system really challenges the way that players engage in combat in key points in the match, and you're gonna see that, of course, featured here as well tonight.
Yeah, I think between the new movement system and the specialist, it really opens up like a really incredible strategic opportunity. So, you know, with that in mind, was the game kind of designed, or were those features really designed with esports in mind?
Yeah, so really since the start of the Black Ops series, we've been really looking at esports as this great opportunity, extremely fast-growing component of everything we do. The game modes like Hardpoint, the Codcaster, these are all now staples of Call of Duty and the competitive scene. We think the core movement system and the specialist are going to lead to some really great competitive play. But all of that's really just the beginning, as we will show you all of it today.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see it in the hands of the pros. These guys are so good. So, speaking of which, let's meet our casters who will be helping us MC tonight's matches. Thanks to the MLG for letting us borrow Maven and Mr. X.
All right, thanks, Scott and Vaughn. I am Maven, joined by Matthew, Mr. X Morello. But it's the esports reveal. How pumped are you?
We are beyond excited for this.
Yeah.
We both love Call of Duty esports. We travel to all the events throughout the year, and this is what it's all about. I mean, Black Ops 3 esports, where it all kind of started with Black Ops 2, it's going to be massive.
It's incredible. I know we've been so excited. We've had a couple days here. The players have been playing a lot. Some of the stuff we've seen them do has been absolutely ridiculous. We've had some hands-on. I am so excited. There's so much more information, so many features to bring to you over the course of the next hour.
And the game just looks beautiful. I mean, as the players are playing it, the movement, like they were talking about, it's really fluid, really easy to get a hang of. It's going to be awesome to watch them play.
All right, well, speaking of those features, we've got Scott and Vaughn with the rundown.
Thanks, guys. Now, Vaughn, Treyarch has a long storied history with esports, with the introduction of COD casting tools, league play, and integrated streaming in Black Ops 2. How did you guys really kind of set out to top yourselves in Black Ops 3?
It's been a really amazing experience for all of us to watch the growth in competitive Call of Duty. I've said it before, but it's really important to say that until you watch competitive Call of Duty be played at the highest levels in an arena like this one, it's very hard to understand, and that's why it's important for us to showcase it. Starting with Black Ops 3, though, it was very important for us to really make sure we made the right choices about how to continue our investment that we've put into the growth. So our esports agenda innovates in a couple of really important ways. First, we really built league play and put it together and are calling it Arena, and it's made it a far more accessible experience, which we're going to tell you all about. we did a bottom-up evaluation of how game content is used competitively, and we want to make sure that that's a part of the experience, and you're going to see what that feature is all about. We've also spent a lot of time on the Codcaster feature itself. We need to make it easy to configure and set up. We have to provide some new tools for the casters to create the best broadcast package that they can for their viewers at home. Being able to spectate a Call of Duty competitive game is just as important to us as being able to play one, so that one's very important to me personally.
Awesome. Well, let's start with the weapons and gear. Obviously, that's integral to the competitive experience. These guys, they become accustomed to things, they get really into it. In years past, the competitive rule set was kind of defined by competitive organizations, by the developers, by the teams. But now with Black Ops 3, you're really kind of taking that and putting that power back in the hands of the players. Tell us about protects and bans.
So there's no doubt that this is the most significant change to how Call of Duty Esports will be played over the coming years, and it's something that I'm really excited about. There's always this pretty large and sometimes contentious sort of idea about what should be restricted. What do you consider competitive? What do you consider anti-competitive? And how does all that work? But restricting game content actually takes the game and sort of pushes it further away from how the vast majority of people actually play the game, where they play with everything. So it's on us as developers to properly balance the game for sure. It's on all of us who are interested in esports to promote a real healthy ecosystem where the public game and the competitive game can be as similar to one another as possible. That's why right here, right now, on this show tonight, we are going to demonstrate the bans and protect system. So when you're playing in a competitive game in Arena or in a custom game, there's an entire metagame where players take turns deciding what piece of content they want to ban and what piece of content they want to protect. So before the game even starts, players are presented with a series of choices. Each player votes to ban or protect one piece of game content. Now, this is a very flexible system with a lot of custom configuration. Now, for the purposes of demonstration, we put all of the game content in the system. That's anything in Create a Class. That's all the score streaks. That's every specialist, weapon, or ability. That's hundreds of pieces of game content. So it's a whole new meta layer for the game, one that the players are in complete control of. This has the added benefit of truly demystifying that behind-the-scenes negotiation between players and leagues and developers that you were talking about. Now the players will decide, and those decisions will change moment to moment, game to game, and opponent to opponent.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting because you mentioned specialists, which of course are new to Black Ops 3. They introduced a completely new class of weapons and abilities in the game, which can really, really shape a match. How do they fit into the competitive environment?
As we've talked about before, we like to say that the specialist weapons and abilities are designed to fit in that power band that exists between all of the content in Create a Class and the score streaks themselves. So it's absolutely true that specialist weapons and abilities are going to be extremely effective and very, very powerful in a competitive game situation. So, as an example, there is nothing quite like finding yourself in the right situational opportunity to activate Ruin's Overdrive for a clutch run with the satellite drone, slam dunking it right in for a game-winning score. Now, this makes picking the right specialist or ability at the right time for the right game mode all that much more critical to the game. So specialists work with the competitive agenda in a very important way that we call the specialist draft. Now, the specialist draft is when each player from each side can only have one specialist weapon or ability per team. So let me use an example. Let's say it's a pro game, it's 4-on-4, it's Uplink. During the setup of that game, only one player can take Ruin Overdrive. The other 3 players on that team have to take a different weapon from the specialist or a different specialist ability.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the teams have to think very, very carefully about what they pick. And but more importantly, I think, from a kind of podcasting perspective, I think there's a lot more to discuss in terms of the metagame and doing that analysis, which begs a really important question, which is what Maven and Mr. X have to say about it. So what are your guys' thoughts?
All right, this is amazing. Matt, You were a former professional FPS player. I was semi-professional at best. But when you hear stuff like meta, balance, all these words I'm getting so pumped, or just think of the way this is going to diversify and make it such a more dynamic gameplay.
And you get deeper into the bans and protects, right? A team that has a player like Clayster probably has to protect his dominant AR that he's
Absolutely.
really good with, or he has to get good with all the AR.
Yep.
So it adds so much more depth to the game than the way the specialists are used. You know, a player like TP, maybe he goes for a more OBJ-minded specialist. And then, you know, some of the best slayers in the game, they'll pick some of the weapon specialists and be able to use those to their advantage. So the game will change game to game, opponent to opponent.
Well, we saw just in the course of yesterday, really.
Right.
You know, one player's going off big time with a specific rifle. Next thing you know, that gets banned next map. The course of, you know, an esports season, the course of the game, the way to watch this stuff change is going to be absolutely amazing. But, you know, we talked about the fact that we have competitive players here. We are, of course, going to be having some Black Ops 3 action. We've got Scott, main stage. We're going to have a live draft.
All right, so speaking of the players, I have the privilege of introducing the pros that will be showcasing the game and the new competitive features. We've gathered some of the best from all over the globe, including TP, Doug Sensor Martin, and Merck from the US, Tommy from the UK, Gotoga from France, Kiwi representing the hometown crowd here in Germany, Flex Z from Spain, and Buzzo from Australia. With all this talent in one spot, we're going to shake things up a bit. We have two captains, TP, winner of the 2014 Call of Duty Championship and 18 major Call of Duty tournament wins, and Kiwi, who competed this year's Call of Duty Championship and is our hometown host. Welcome, guys. All right. So this really is your guys' first opportunity to go really competitive in this game. So, you know, how does that feel?
This game is awesome. It feels like Black Ops 2 with the new movement, maps, and other new stuff. I can't wait to play this game.
Awesome. And what about you, TB?
It's an honor to be here to represent the COD esports community. Seeing it grow over the years has been absolutely amazing, and I think we're in for a very good year this time around.
Awesome. Well, due to a coin toss earlier tonight, we decided that Kiwi was going to have first pick. So this is a pretty defining moment. So who's it going to be?
My first pick is Buzzo.
All right. All right, now Buzzo, of course, is a really tough competitor, so you have to pick carefully now. What's your first pick, TP?
I'm going to go with the veteran from the US, Merck.
All right, welcome, Merck. Okay, so this is kind of a defining moment, Kiwi. So who is going to be your next pick?
The one and only Sensor.
All right. Sensor is obviously a big talent as well. So TP, who's going to be your next pick?
Next, I'm going to go with a boy from the UK, Tommy.
All right, welcome, Tommy. So now it's really down to the fourth and final player for your team. So you really have an opportunity to kind of make a real big impact. So who is going to be your fourth player?
I'm going with the best French player, Gotaga.
All right, last and not least, TP.
Last, I got my guy, Flex Z.
All right, guys. Well, now that you have your teams, I think we should have like a proper handshake, have a good clean match. Thank you so much. Now for some analysis, I'm tossing it back to Mr. X and Maven.
All right, great stuff, Scott. Matt, let's break down these rosters. What are your initial thoughts?
You know, Teep's team's going to be pretty good. You know, Teep and Tommy on the same squad with Merck. Expect Merck to be running the AR on this team. Then you know, I feel like Tommy's the UK version of TP in a way, right? They're just so good around the objective, such selfless players. Expect them to do some really good things. But look out for Buzzo. We've been, watching these players play throughout the last, 2-3 days, and Buzzo's been absolutely crushing.
I mean, there were multiple games that we were watching. Obviously, we were messing around with the Codcaster mode, getting hands-on as well, and Buzzo would have like 48 kills. I look down, and the next closest is going to be 24, which is just absolutely ridiculous. But taking a look forward, our first game type is going to be Combine Hardpoint for game number 1. This is set to be just a ridiculous matchup here. Now, Combine is set in the remote Egyptian Sahara. This vertical farming and sustainability research facility pays fast and frantic with tight interiors, an open middle, and a dangerous flank path. I think this is going to be an absolute battle. We've had some really, really back and forth games throughout the past couple days.
Right, the middle of the map gets crazy, and you're able to win those gun engagements with assault rifles from base to base. It's got a wall, you can actually wall run to the opposing team's base, and then that far side of the map has that wall running spot all the way on the opposing side. So that is a good flanking area to get to the opponent's base. Then you're going to have the other side. It's going to have just a rocky area where you're going to have to win some close quarter gun engagements. And what I love about this map is it's viable for SMG players and assault rifle players, right? You know, the SMGs can go on the flanks, play close quarters on the outside, and then the ARs can dominate the middle.
Yep, it's certainly going to provide a good variety. Now, we talked about bans and protects and how influential they're going to be on the game. Let's kick it off. This is going to be the first glimpse here of the live ban protect system.
Yeah, so Tommy and Sensor are both going to go at the same time here, and it's pretty much a race. So you see Sensor, he's going to ban that thermal sight, and Tommy, he's going to go for the UAV. So both those players are going to go down to the next two players in line.
Yep, we'll keep ripping through here, see what players are trying to eliminate. You know, it was really awesome just watching through the course of that first day how dynamically it changed game by game as players started to adapt to each other's playstyles.
Right, because players started to ban, you know, the guns that the other players were good with. And then it saw, you know, game to game, game mode to game mode really changed. See Gotaga, he's going to go to protect that M8A7 favorite of everyone from Black Ops 2.
Yeah, we've seen that M8 used so much, and not surprised that's the first one protected. You'll see Flex going to be banning the mothership, and then Kiwi will protect that man of war.
That's for his teammate, though. That's for his teammate,
that's for Buzzo, 100%. Yeah. Buzzo has been ripping with that man of war.
Here's where, you know, the strategy comes into it. You know, Buzzo has that last ban. He's not going to be able to really, you know, Merc would have probably banned the man of war right there. You know, that's been Buzzo's go-to. He ends up getting rid of 6th Sense, and then Buzzo gets rid of C4 at the end, and now we have the specialist draft Maven.
Yep, this is huge. Now, we've seen a lot of different game types. We've seen how these players have adapted again over the course of the past couple days. These picks are going to start to come in. You're going to see Annihilator coming in as first pick for Sensor and Tommy. Tell me a little bit about that specialist class.
Yeah, so the Annihilator is that massive high caliber revolver with penetration rounds. You know, you're going to see players try and pick up lots of kills on the outside. You're going to see TP go with Ruin Overdrive. You expect that out of a lot of the OBJ players. Lets you to move fast around the map. Gotaga going for that Outrider Sparrow. It's going to be nice to have that bow be able to
we haven't seen it used a ton. We'll see if it can be used to effect in this Hardpoint. And then Rejack, you'll see that coming in on both teams. Tell me a little bit about Rejack, Matt.
So Rejack, when you die, allows you to come right back to life. You know, there's a smoke around it. It's great for, you know, players that want to hold down positions and then they want to get a second chance of it, right? You know, you have to use it at the right time or else it's not going to be as effective. You see the last two players, it's going to be a Prophet Tempest from Merc, and then Buzzo going to go with that Reaper Psychosis. That's one that we've seen a lot of players do some nice stuff with.
Oh, yeah, the Psychosis, you know, you're going to have those holograms. We've seen them use the drones. Able to, defensively, we've seen it offensively and Hardpoint specifically. You know, you'll have people set up in the Hardpoint. You're trying to bust in. You send out the holograms, provide a bit of a distraction, then you're able to fly in with the sub, fly in with the AR, make a big play on the Hardpoint. It's been phenomenal for me to see just how quickly, I mean, I know it's too early to develop.
Innovating how they've been using this stuff, right? You know, the first day we saw them just kind of basically using them, you know, just randomly whenever they got them. Now you're seeing them time when they use these specialist abilities really, you know, coming up clutch. I mean, we've seen a few times where, you know, that Rejack has come in, you know, saved a team from losing those spawns, and then we've seen something where the Prophet Tempest, you know, it's able to just jump into a hill, clear, weaken, you know, 2 or 3 opponents. So it's going to be interesting game to game how this is going to change.
And you'll see here the one bit we didn't talk about. You get to edit your class and score streaks before we hop into the action. Obviously, with how much more diverse this game's going to be, how much more you have to be familiar with different weapons, different score streaks. Before each game, you're going to have a chance to edit your class, get everything set to go. As soon as players ready up, we'll be ready to hop in. Again, game 1 is going to be Hardpoint on Combine. I cannot wait to get the action, Matt.
And as a team, you're really going to have to work together to pick, you know, what are we going to ban? What are we going to protect? What order we're going to do it in? And then, as we said before, it's a race. So those first 2 players are trying to ban and protect the same thing. It's to whoever gets there first.
All right, game 1, Team Kiwi going up against Team TP. All right, I know this isn't the finals of a tournament, but I still need a prediction out of Matt. Who you picking in this one?
You know, Team TP is pretty strong. I'm going to be looking to see how Buzzo, though, plays for Team Kiwi. He's got that Reaper Psychosis. You know, with the assault rifle, you imagine they protected the man of war. He's going to have that in his hands. Going to be interesting to see how he's going to play.
Well, speaking of what you talked about, Buzzo, I'm going to kick things off with him as we're getting ready to hop into the action. What's bound to be an amazing game 1.
Yeah, and you're going to see them fight over this middle hard point. It's going to be right in the center of the map. Going to be teams fighting from all over the place. You're going to see teams going all the way up to that top side. You're going to see that green arrow try and get to the other side of the map for that flank. And then on the left-hand side, you're going to see players try and win those close quarter engagements and then just slide out and take that middle hard point.
Yep, you can see via the X-ray. Obviously, that is just for you viewers at home, and us casters able to get vision on where the pushes are coming for. Buzzo is going to be taken out after he started out 2-0. Going to switch over to Team TP. Tommy also 2-0. He's set up in the hard point right now, trying to get as much time as he can for his team. Out to an early lead here. Now, one thing I want to touch on as we're early into the game, we have a little bit of time to talk here. This has been a great addition. You have the ability here now on the controller.
Widget, yeah.
You pull up the widget here for each player. You can go through, you'll see at the bottom middle of the screen here, but you can see Psychosis. He has the Man of War. You can go through all the perks, see everything that they have on their class, able to pop it right back out. It's incredible here for us and for you at home to see what's going on in the action.
It's such a great little graphic end feature in the Codcaster mode. I mean, makes it so easy for the broadcaster. Just looks great and professional. And you see Buzzo on a 5 streak now, has that Psychosis ability. It'll be interesting to see when he decides to use that. He's getting close to his streaks as well, Maven, so he's going to try and set up for this next hill, regen some health, try and get those streaks. As we remember back to Black Ops 2 competitive play, how large were score streaks?
Huge. It just completely changes the game. It's amazing to have them here in Black Ops 3, as we'll see Buzzo so close to streaks, and now he's going to have it set up. Going to have the Hellstorm missile, going to be set up for when he comes off a spawn. We're going to stay on with him, as he's got his specialist ability up.
He's fully
got
loaded.
streaks.
I mean, he has his specialist ability. He has 2 score streaks. The Hellstorm and that Guardian will decide when he uses it, and that's what's going to be the whole metagame, right? You're going to have that pre-match metagame deciding, what we're going to protect, what we're going to ban, what specialists we're going to use, and then in-game, right? When to use score streaks is such a large part of Black Ops 2. Now it's when to use your score streaks and specialist abilities, because those special abilities can change around the game, right? This hardpoint's so close. Let's say there was a ruin with the gravity spikes. He was able to just jump in there, clear a hardpoint out like that. You wouldn't want to waste that. You see, that is going to be the Nomad using his rejack ability to come back to life right there.
Yeah, I'm going to keep eyes on with Tommy real quick, just because he's 9-6. He has the Annihilator in his pocket when he's ready to use that. We've seen that be used very effectively in different game modes. There it is. There's the one-shot kill. Can he get a second? Able to pick it up as he's heating up with the Annihilator. You see, he's got 5 shots left in that. They've got a 23-point advantage here, and Tommy's starting to roll.
And we've seen some players do some great things with the Annihilator pistols. He absolutely destroys Gotaga there. And they're just able to push out those spawns and really just lock it down for the team. I mean, how huge on a hardpoint Maven is when your team gets control, you're able to push out, take 2-3 players out from the next wave of the opponent. It's able to buy your team 20-30 seconds on the hill.
Well, we had Kiwi in the hill. He's 11-9, going to end up dropping here. They're trailing big time. We've seen some great comebacks in this game already as we've been watching just the action again over the past couple days. We already see Sensor here. He's going to push forward with the Kuda. Not able to win that gunfight. He is going to end up dropping. They're starting to mount the comeback right now for Team Kiwi. And I got to go back to Buzzo, though. He hasn't even used his streak set. He's still holding on to the specialist. I'm going to keep going back to him just so you at home can get an eye of when he's going to start to put these into effect.
Yeah, you definitely want to see his Psychosis come into effect. It's going to be awesome. So you see that Nomad ability, that rejack coming into effect again. He had no idea where that player was going to come up and go once he's out of that smoke. And see, Buzzo gets taken out by that guy, but it's all timing on when to use these, Maven. You see Buzzo just waiting for the perfect opportunity to do so, because his team is still pretty close in the game, right? There's no reason to panic right now. Still 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go. You're going to expect him to hold on to it when it's really, in a clutch situation.
And TP right now, on the side of Team TP, starting to pull away a bit here. 40-point advantage. I'm going to stay with him through the respawn. He's 16-11. You can see he has his specialist ability locked and loaded as well. Beginning to heat up here. Starting to really pull away. Excellent job from his side thus far.
The specialist abilities are going to change from player to player. You see the overdrive is going to be activated by TP. He's going to get that fast player movement cross map. You're going to see OBJ players in lots of, objective-based game modes obviously use this, and as he's using that Kuda probably the favorite of the SMGs from the players thus far.
Yeah, you can see how fast he was able to get into the action, get back to that hard point, pick up the 2-piece there with the sub. Great stuff from TP, and they're completely in control of this game right now.
Look back to Black Ops 2, right, for competitive games. There was the OBJ players, the anchors. Now, with the specialist abilities, you're going to have different, anchors, and OBJ players play differently. Like an anchor, for instance, would probably use the Outrider Sparrow, the compound bow, able to just stay at range and pick players off. Maybe they use the Annihilator pistol, able to pick up some easy kills on the rotation, or even, you could say you could use the combat focus, earn more towards score streaks. While it's activated, rack them up. And here's you see the compound bow come into effect.
Sorry, Sensor, going to stick that one in your back. He's going to tag him up, just trying to pick one up, gets hit markers, and in comes the Sparrow kill for Gotaga as he's able to take down Merc.
It's such an awesome animation when he hits him with the bow. It's just awesome. Watch the players fly back. You see Tommy with that Annihilator pistol yet again, picking up another one. He has been so good on when to use that. He's done a great job knowing when the players are coming off spawn and from where, and then using that specialist ability, able to pick up 2-3 kills for his team.
And Buzzo pushing in, still has the Hellstorm, still has his specialist to work with as well. He's got 3 players in front, getting pushed, not able to clean it up. You can see we've got like 5:45 on the clock right now, and this one just continues to pull away here.
Yeah, and you see Flexi with the Kuda, going to be playing pretty OBJ-minded near the hill. It's going to have one player use that reflex ability outside. Now they're just going to watch this side door. Hardpoint is such a great game mode, Maven. You know, for the people new at home, why don't you explain what Hardpoint is?
I mean, for Hardpoint, we're going to be playing to a max of 250. Obviously, this is going to be rotating basically on a 60-second timer as they're going to look to control, you know, you can call it the hill. Basically, you're trying to lock down this area, and so far, it's been Team TP just completely controlling, and that's really on the back of TP and Tommy. You can see Tommy doing it objectively. He's been doing it in the slaying department as well. Who's really been jumping out for you on both these sides, Matt?
You know, Tommy, he's been so smart with the way he's used his abilities. You know, Merc, he's macking it, right? I mean, he's got that Tempest. He's going to be able to use that in case they get the hill, right? So it's going to be something that you can charge up, fires a little bit of electricity, shocking targets, chaining to nearby enemies. So let's say there's a hard point where the opposing team has 2-3 players in it. He can charge it up, hit one, jumps from player to player, gets them weak. Opportunity for his teammates with the SMGs to push in.
Yeah, and I want to get back to Merc in just a second because he has the Hellstorm to work with as well. We came on the tail end of his lightning strike. I know Tommy had the Annihilator, but let's see what he's able to do here. Merc trying to push forward.
Here's his Tempest, so he's going to charge this up, try and hit one of these players, see if it jumps from player to player. He's going to shoot it, but not able to pick one up. I do like.
Yeah, he got one. I think that transferred over. I didn't see if the second player was able to get cleaned up.
I like that he elected to use it, though, right? Yeah. You know, the opposing team had the hill. You knew there was going to be 2 or 3 players in this short area, and you see Merc picking up a big 3-piece there with the M8 A7. It's a burst rifle, Maven, just like the M8. Fan favorite from Black Ops 2.
Merc looking so comfortable yet again. And there you go. You see the clone coming through. He's going to get shots in. But now it's time to call into Hellstorm. Here it comes. Kenny lines some up. Boom. And there it is. Able to pick up one. Kiwi, unfortunately, taking it to the face there as he's going to drop it. It's going to be a 100-point advantage right now for Team TP. They've got this game locked down right now.
Team Kiwi needs to turn up now, Maven. They're going to be pushing that hill from the right side. You can see the spawns coming in. Go on with one of them, maybe Buzzo as he comes off the spawn, see if he's going to make anything happen.
We'll check out Buzzo. He's going to start to push forward. His teammate cleans up one. He's getting shot from the right, able to come through. You can see via X-ray. He's got one on his left. Not going to be able to clean that up, but only 42 points away is Team TP. We'll stay with Buzzo here through the respawn. Actually, I see Kiwi's on the 3 streak. Let's hop over here, see if Kiwi can get going. Not that far off the streak, Spat.
Yeah, he has that reject ability. If he can, you know, build that up, Maven, when he's playing in the hill, he's able to come back a second time. Gives himself a good opportunity to win. I think that's really where you're going to see, you know, the metagame develop. You know, in the pre-game lobby, are people going to, know TP's a great player with that reject ability? Do we have to ban that? Are we that worried about that? Or are you worried about, you know, Buzzo using the Man of War? There's also stuff that you don't want in the game as well. So I love that the players are the ones that really decide all these things.
Well, we do see Tommy on the 3 streak. He's 38-26, leading all players. He's got the Annihilator in hand. Can he get forward? Sees one more, trying to line it up. The reload not in time. Going to miss that shot, and eventually he will fall. They only need 30 points to close out game number 1. Team Kiwi just cannot keep up right now, Matt.
So here's where the meta really develops, Maven, right? You know, Tommy absolutely crushing here in game number 1. We've seen him really dominate with that Annihilator pistol. Does the opposing team decide to ban that going into the next game? It's got to be on their mind. You know, one of the first things that would need to go if they're going to make a comeback in this series.
That's the crazy thing too, is we're talking about different game types as well. I mean, what's going to work really well in Hardpoint may not work as well in S&D. What's working well in S&D, you know, not the same for Uplink. So it's going to be amazing. And you know, obviously there hasn't been a ton of time for these games to kind of develop a meta and get forward with these players. But there's going to be so much over time. Like the way this is going to change, it's going to be so fun to watch how it works out.
Month to month, day to day, the meta is going to change in this game, right? You know, players are going to say, hey, for an OBJ player, maybe this specialist and this setup works well. And then the next month, once teams start to adjust and, you know, ban some of the things that the OBJ players are using, they're going to have to pick a new kind of default loadout. So it's going to change from game to game, month to month. It's just going to be amazing for Call of Duty Esports.
Well, I'm going to go on with Team Kiwi, Matt. Only 10 points more needed for Team TP.
They're trying to do the improbable here, Maven.
They've got enough time. Can they pull the improbable? You see the points ticking in. It should be, that should be it here with the final Hardpoint. They should be able to close it out as they're going to get set up inside. That's going to be 250 for Team TP as they're able to close it out. Let's give them a round of applause in game number 1. And You know, we got to see, I think Buzzo was teasing us to start. He was holding on to that Hellstorm and his specialist for so long, but we got to switch through. You got to see some of the guys use the specialist effectively. You got to see a ton of different guns used. There's going to be so many dynamic plays in this game.
You got a question. No, Buzzo had the Hellstorm. He had that specialist ability for a while, and you never really saw him use it offensively or defensively for his team to hold things off. So that's really where it's going to come in, the timing of when to use all of these different things to really give your team an advantage.
Well, through game one, obviously Team TP going to be in control there. Who really stood out for you? Were there any plays you really like? Maybe stood out to you as coming in a little differently?
Tommy was amazing with the Annihilator pistol. I mean, he was just
hard to argue that
with that. But Buzzo, with that Man of War assault rifle, he is so good and accurate.
Yeah, you saw. I mean, he was that guy kind of playing for streaks, and that's going to be again a new dynamic that we're going to have in Black Ops 3. You saw him play a little more reserved, able to pick up quite a few kills. We were talking about how well Buzzo's been playing in this game. We actually have him set up with a live interview over with Scott.
Buzzo, as a fan watching you play, is really incredible. Obviously, a little bit of a tough break, but how did it feel to get into kind of the first competitive match?
Oh, it was amazing. We were playing before. We've been practicing for the last day and a half. We played before actually, and it was really close. We had an Uplink game. We lost by a point. That map there, we lost by a point. That one wasn't that close. We got destroyed. It was very fun. It's traditional sort of Black Ops 2 style, but it's reinvented. So your 3 lanes, very simple. Everything makes sense for competitive. If you're in a point, they should be coming from one point, and it's all simple. It all makes sense, which is great for us competitive players. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you real quick. I got to know, was there money exchanging hands when he got the Protect for your Man of War, which you've been not doing too bad with over the last couple of games?
Yeah, no, well, we've been joking, the last day and a half, we've just been joking about it because the very first few games, I was dropping 40, 50 kills. Everyone else was around the 20 mark. And then after the first 5 games, everyone just started banning it. So there was a bit of money exchange with me and Teep, but it was, I think the way the ban and protects work, it works good like that. If I'm an assault rifle player and they want to shut me down a bit, they can take out my, number 1 gun. So that sort of, tries to make me a bit more versatile when I have to use, say, a submachine gun or a different assault rifle that I'm not used to using. So that's where the whole ban and protect comes in very perfect. You can just change someone's complete playstyle in an instant like that.
All right, well, awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time with us. I'm excited to see you play your next round. Thanks again. All right, now, Vaughn, this is the first time you've seen your game played at a competitive level. How are you feeling about that?
Obviously it feels really good to watch the game be played at this level. It's been 3 long years waiting for this day. This was just an idea on a piece of paper for a very long time. So to finally watch bans and protects be used in practice, watch the process of the specialist draft actually come together. Of course, with this important milestone done, the next step is to get this in everybody's hands.
Well, speaking of everybody's hands and getting, going ahead to launch, how does, as Treyarch as a studio, kind of philosophically think about the balance between making a really compelling esports experience, but at the same time making it accessible and enjoyable for the fans at home?
It's an important question, and I get asked about this fairly frequently, right? There's little difference philosophically between people that engage with the esports features and those that log in and jump into a public match. We're striving for a balanced and competitive game all the time. Anyone needs to be able to play and enjoy it, needs to be on an equal playing field. We want to see the best competition in every game. And, starting with Black Ops 1, we made some good strides with the esports initiative. Going into Black Ops 2, we were able to grow the competitive agenda. But Black Ops 3, we believe these features are really going to help expose competitive to a broader audience by giving every player agency over what they deem competitive with the protects and ban system.
Well, yeah, but also at the same time, you're creating a path for players who play, competitively maybe on a personal level, but aren't part of a formal pro team. Tell us a little more about Arena and how that really differs from League play.
That's a very important point to make. Arena is the ranked online play and the replacement for League play in Black Ops 3. In Arena, you are ranked on wins and wins alone. If you win, your rank goes up. If you lose, your rank goes down. All this is visualized for the player with a really simple numbering. At this point in development, there are 20 ranks as well as a master's division at the top. Every 5 ranks, you need to string together even more wins to go to the next level, so it gets progressively harder. Now, this system has some built-in protections that we're excited about. For example, you need to lose 2 games in a row in order to be demoted. You lose 2 steps in the ranking system if you quit out of games. but we don't let you be demoted out of your skill tier to prevent reverse boosting. So as a player, this is very easy to follow. You have a number. The bigger that number is, the higher rank you are. The number goes up when you win games, and all the ranking is done at an individual level. So you have a rank, and I have a rank. You don't have to try to assemble the same 3 to 5 people every time you want to play, although it doesn't hurt to play with the same people every time. That only helps you win. Arena will improve the experience for everyone because of how accessible it is.
So basically, long story short, what you're saying is there's no way for anyone at the office to contest how I'm pretty much way better than them all the time.
You are not better than anybody at our office, but you better work your way into Masters League if you'd like to be invited over to the studio anymore.
All right. So while you and I argue about who has the better score per minute, let's toss it back to Mr. X and Maven to set up the next match.
All right, thanks, guys. Matt, there was a very common misconception throughout Black Ops 2 that I only got to my Master's rank on the back of you and Rambo Ray.
That's 100% true.
It may be 100% true, but now, in Arena, it's individual. I'm going to stand on my own 2 big boy feet, and I'm going to climb my way to the top without you.
I'm excited they've taken measures, for the reverse boosting and the players quitting out.
Absolutely.
And it's just a much better system.
Yeah, it sounds phenomenal. Everything we've heard about Arena. I love, my favorite part of it is, as stupid as it sounds, it's so simple, but I love when you move up, you lose, you move down.
It's simple.
Doesn't get much simpler, right?
Extremely competitive.
Yeah.
And that's what I think everyone's going to love about it.
I can't wait. It's exciting stuff. Now, you did see a game number 1. Again, it was Combine Hardpoint. We're going to be looking forward to game 2. S&D, Search and Destroy, a staple of the Call of Duty esports community. It is going to be played on Hunted. Now, Hunted is a big game hunting lodge. It's situated beneath a waterfall in the lush mountains of Ethiopia, where rugged terrain opens up the long sight lines and a stealthy underwater pathway.
So we've seen some interesting stuff using the underwater pathway in this, and you're going to definitely see it in this match. Players going cross-map under the water, just jumping out onto the bomb site, able to surprise players planning or defusing the bomb. It's awesome to watch. You have to check so many areas. It's not going to be really predictable search and destroy. And I think, the bans and protects is going to be huge in this. What changes from game 1?
That's beautiful water
from
there.
the game mode? It's beautiful water. It looks great. You can probably swim.
Great vacation town.
Yeah, it's a hunting lodge. You wouldn't want a vacation there. But I'm going to get into the bans and protects voting here. See what Merc and Sensor do right off the rip.
All right, time to get going. Now we are going to see, again, the M8 going to be banned. It's going to be Sensor taking it off the map here. And again, these players, I know we're just starting to go live here with our gameplay, but they've been feeling each other out here for a little bit of time.
And then you're going to see Merc. He's going to protect Vision Pulse. So Vision
Tell
Pulse.
me why. Because we saw a wild play with it
pings
earlier.
the surrounding area and tags the location of all enemies within the range for a period of time. So we saw Tommy do some amazing things with that Gotaga. He's going to protect the Man of War for Buzzo. That's Buzzo's go-to gun. You're going to see Teep. He's going to ban the UAV. Doesn't want somebody on the opposing team to really just pick up some easy kills, get that streak right off the rip. So see what Flexi and Kiwi decide to do with their bans or protects.
Yeah, it's a common one we've seen. TP, Mr. Objective, making sure the UAV not going to be involved. But next up, Flex going to be taking out 6 Sense. We've still got 3 bans and protects left. And you saw the work getting done with the Annihilator and Hardpoint. Yep. Think about how much more effective it would be in S&D.
Right before Tommy could get to protect it, Kiwi removes it from the game. So that's actually really big. Tommy, he's going to protect Glitch, which we saw some amazing stuff out of Sensor earlier today. He made one of the craziest plays I've ever seen. Buzzo, he's going to remove C4 from the game. Now we're going to have that specialist draft. Maven, which specialist do you expect to see in this one?
Honestly, we talked about Glitch, how amazing that has been. The plays that we've seen players able to come up with. I typically would say an S&D Annihilator, but we also obviously we saw that ban, so not going to really see that come to as much effect. Now, Rejack, I know we've talked about it a bit. Tell me why it's so popular, why I feel like that's going to be one we're going to be seeing in a lot of the game types.
Oh, it's just a great ability to have. You're able to recover from death. That smoke area pops up, you're able to get out, and then you give yourself another chance at it. TP's going to go with the Psychosis. That could be used on offense or defense, right? You could throw it out on defense, get some shots, see the mini-map, and then you're able to pinpoint where that player is. Kotaga going with the Vision Pulse. I was just going to say, I would have been surprised if Tommy didn't go with Vision Pulse there, and that's a smart play by Tommy. We'll pick that one.
Yeah, the Vision Pulse, we saw, was it Tommy, I think yesterday, or earlier today actually, made an amazing play with it, getting that vision, able to go huge. And then while we're loading into the game here, while they're editing their classes, kind of walk me through what Sensor did the other day with Glitch. It was one of the coolest things. I was screaming.
it's S&D on Hunt, and he's in the middle of the map. He has the specialist ability. There's a player using Reaper coming around the corner, knows where Sensor is. Sensor glitches as he gets hit. He goes to a building where he previously was, and then the guy with Reaper, he just looked like he had no idea what happened. He came around the corner, and he looked, and he's like, he's not there. And Sensor was able to pick up the kill. I think it decided the map, so it's a huge play.
Perfect. You just saw the other, you could see Sensor's point of view, and the other player just like head on a swivel. He's like, where did he go?
Yeah.
And the shots come in from behind. He gets cleaned up. I think it was like a 1v1 situation too. Players were going nuts. It was such a crazy play.
But you see how different the specialist strap and the bans and protects works from game mode to game mode.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
I mean, in S&D, it's going to be completely different than what you would use in a respawn game mode. So it's just awesome to see that type of diversity in Call of Duty. And it's going to take a really good team leader, right? Somebody who does the study work on an opponent, knows what they like to use. And then it's going to create, players to be more versatile, right? I mean, if everyone knows you're going to be good with a gun, they're going to try and ban it right away. And then it comes to the point, well, do you want to waste one of your bans or protects on it?
Yep.
Is it worth it for your team?
Absolutely.
Or maybe you have another assault rifle that you're just as good at. Or maybe you can switch over to an SMG because there's an assault rifle one of your teammates is better at. So for team play and just strategy, it just adds so much depth to the game.
And just think back to Black Ops 2. We're talking S&D. Streaks that much more, I don't want to say that much more important, but the number of times you get them compared to a respawn make them that much more vital.
Right.
You may only get one shot at using some of these things. Now that you have the specialist to go with it, there's so much of this, I think this baiting game, when are they going to use it? When is it up? There's so much more dynamic
you use it and lose the round, that is huge.
Oh, yeah.
You need to win the round, you use those because it's huge for your team. We're going to jump right into the game. It seems like Merc busting out the sniper rifle here.
I mean, we have to start with Merc, right?
Yeah, I mean, when somebody's rocking the sniper rifle, got to show that action. You see he's got reject, he's got a pistol sidearm. What's he running for perks? Got overclocked fast hands, primary gunfighter as well, so he's going to have 3 attachments there. Dead silence. Back, you need it in S&D with those footsteps, and see what he's going to do off the rip. He's going to go to this left side. I saw them doing this earlier. Maybe watch this. They're going to cover for Tommy as Tommy is going to try and run on the wall on the side of that bridge and get to the opposing side of the map. Catches Gotaga off guard there.
And that's incredible. Great stuff there. They're worried about the sniper of Merc. And then a lot of times where we've seen engagements here, can he get a second? No, going to get tagged, hit markers for days. A lot of these pushes, a lot of the engagements has been coming kind of by that. There's an area up here where Kiwi was covering. He was covering the B bomb site. As we'll see, it's going to be Flex who would attempt to get forward here and push this, but everyone's rotating back. They know the bomb's here. Merc's set up. He's got the pistol out. He's not in the best position because he had that sniper for this particular spot, but there it is.
My. Merc
Sorry,
picks up Kiwi with the sniper.
We'll see you next round, pal.
Yep, see you later, Kiwi. It's going to be a 3v2, and he's going to get a hit marker with the sniper rifle. Now going to like to push with that pistol. He's going to get taken out from behind, so it's going to be Buzzo, last one alive here for Team Kiwi. It's going to be a round one.
Tagged up in Team TP. They take game 1. They're looking strong here in game 2, and you got to love that push by Merc and Tommy. You had them on the lower side of the minimap. Merc covering with that sniper. You called it perfectly. Tommy's going to use this wall run, get up close and personal, picks up the kill. Anything else that really stood out for you in that round other than Merc ripping off the pace of poor Kiwi? Welcome to Germany, Merc.
That was an amazing shot right there by Merc. See Team TP going to get that first round.
I'm going to jump over to the offensive side. Watching Gotaga here. I'm actually going to go to Kiwi because he's going to be your bomb carrier. As it looks like they're going to try and get aggressive on this B site. He's going to be tossing a grenade forward, able to get a hit marker, back him up. Let's see if he tries to get pushed forward and go for a quick plan here.
Well, it's so dangerous to go towards this B site, right? Because if there's a player on the defensive and over at A, they can actually jump into that water, get cross map so fast, jump up, right up and surprise you. See Tommy on the left-hand side with TP, going to gain some support fire, going to be able to take out Gotaga there, and you see the man of war in the hands of Flex, and he's going underwater, Maven.
He's got that glitch to go as well. They've got the bomb planted. Can he make this sneaky play? He's going to get up here. You see it getting used. The hip fire coming in. It's going to be able to clean up the kill. That's all 4 down. That's going to be a defuse coming in, and it looks like he's actually going to leave it up to Tommy, I believe. Yep.
Yeah, Tommy probably going to get... Oh, look how close he is. He actually gets his specialist going into the next round, so that is huge. So you see Flexi has it, Tommy has it as well.
He drops it there for him.
So do they use it to go up 3-0? Do they save it in case the other team makes a comeback? That's where the strategy comes in with the specialist abilities.
All right, so far, we are 2 rounds in. You're seeing your round any kill cam here, getting ready to go into round 3. You see Team TP already out to a 2-0 advantage, I believe, just due to time. We're going to be playing this, I believe, first to 4.
First to 4, yeah.
Halfway is Team TP. Let's go over. I'm going to start off with the bomb carrier. TP is 3-0.
And he's got his psychosis. I think we stay on with TP and see if he elects to use it this round. This would be a good round to use it, right? They can go towards B. Maybe he throws it around this corner. Exactly what I was thinking. So now, see, he's going to see the shots come in at the B bomb site. That player is going to fall back, and it's going to look how passive that player has.
He's terrified right now.
Side.
Does it work as well as TP likes it to do?
Sensor pops out at the perfect time, able to take him out. Going to go crossmet with Flexi. He's actually pretty weak, has that glitch ability. Last one alive in a 1v3. I would not be surprised if he tries to use it this round, tries to clutch the situation. You know, you're already up 2-0. Maybe if he's able to get one. So he gets one. He's got the RC card. Does he elect to use it now, Maven?
I'd like to see him try. He's in a 1v2. You're on the stream. Can you be Mr. Clutch? You're 4-0, but not able to win that gunfight. Can't control the spray. Gonna lose that one to Buzzo. Buzzo, I mean, he's been winning a majority of his one-on-one gunfights. You saw another reason why they're just absolutely dismantling Flex. They're able to get on the board here.
And it just adds so many different, questions to your game, right? It's not only anymore, all right, which bomb site are we going? What class are we going to run? It's like, okay, now we have streaks. Now we have specialist abilities. It's like, well, when are we going to run them? Do you use them together? Do you use, a glitch to come out of the corner, then the Reaper ability, to throw those drones out there and really try and confuse the opposing team?
All right, let's hop on with Doug Sensor Martin, voted most likely to be in a reality show in 2016. We'll see if he can come up with some big plays. You see he does have his specialist ready.
Yeah, and it just seems like they're just trying to get a pick here. He's going to have one player cross map. Merc
nice shots coming in from
taken
Sensor.
Down by Sensor, though, but Merc was able to get to this round. It's going to be a 2v2. Flex and TP versus Sensor and Buzzo. See Teep going on that long flank. The RC car is out. See if he's able to pick one up. He's trying to get close, not able to do so. That RC car goes for a whirl right there. Going to be Flex, the only one alive as TP's taken out by Sensor.
Now we saw Flex trying to attempt a 1v3 last round, able to narrow it down to 1 versus 2 before he lost that gunfight with Buzzo. Let's see if he can do it here. He's got Sensor and his arch nemesis Buzzo to deal with right now.
Well, he didn't use his ability in the last situation. Does he use it now, or does he let the game potentially get to a 2-2? He's going to pick up one on bomb. Sensor right around the corner. Sensor able to win the gunfight. Going big right there for Team Kiwi. It's going to be all tied up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, and this is tied up 2-2 because Team Kiwi winning those one-on-one gunfights when it comes down to, you saw Buzzo win one, you saw Sensor winning it here. Accurate shots coming in to close it out. They tie it up 2-2.
So first to 4, Maven, right?
Yep, first to 4.
This would be a pivotal round for a team to win. You expect them to use, if they have a streak, if they have a specialist ability, this is where you think the round would come into play.
Well, let's stay with TP then. He has it up. He's going to have the bomb. No, actually, I'm sorry. Bomb is going, or switch over to TP. He's going to have the bomb. We'll actually stay with Flex, though, because he hasn't used it yet. He's held on to it for several rounds now. Is this something you use early, or you wait for that one-on-one, maybe 2v1 situation?
I mean, that glitch ability, you want to use it when you feel like you're going to die in that gunfight. He's going to come directly to the right-hand side of Buzzo, able to pick him up. So huge first blood right there. He's going to get shot from behind. Didn't have an opportunity to use his ability.
That's what I was wondering. As soon as I saw that player flanking on the minimap, I was like, is he going to try this out?
Sensor has his as well. So if he gets pushed by the second player, maybe he decides to use it. TP too fast, though, out of the water. That was such a great bait by Team TP. You see Merc. He's going to get taken out, uses that reject ability, come back to life. That is a huge play right there.
Yeah, if he wins this 1v2 after the reject, that would be so sick. He's got the snipe. He's trying to push up. He has a player right to his left. Can he get the kill with the pistol? The hip fire not going to get it done. They'll be able to get the defuse. That's going to be Kiwi on it. And that was, what, a 2-0 lead for Team Kiwi? Yeah. Now back-to-back rounds here for Team Kiwi. They're one away from closing it out.
Flexi doesn't use his glitch ability. Merc burns his right there, burns his rejack. Now, Team TP doesn't really have much to work with. I believe Sensor still has his specialist abilities, so if they want to, they can really kind of go for the kill this round and put this game away.
Well, that's what you're talking. That's what we were talking about earlier. Kind of, you get that lead. Do you want to use them early and just shut them out? Just snowball this, close it out. They decide not to. They decide to save them for these clutch moments.
Different teams will have different mindsets on when to use these things. There won't be a right way. There won't be a wrong way. It's just kind of player preference. And you see Buzzo has that Reaper ability, going to bust a sniper rifle out. And this is going to be great because he's going to be able to just throw those drones out there and then just be able to poke out with the sniper rifle, pick one player off.
We'll see if he's going to be able to get eyes on anyone. I believe across the way is going to be Merc. He hasn't got a line of sight on him yet. It's actually Merc that's going to be using the wall climb. He's going to try and get up, comes in the window, not able to win the gunfight. He's going to lose that one. You got to love the bit of parkour there coming out of Merc trying to get forward. That's going to be Sensor able to win the gunfight. They have a 4 versus 2 advantage right now. If they can win this round, they'll be able to take game number 2. Watching Sensor, he's getting forward. I'm going to switch over to Kiwi, the bomb carrier. He needs Sensor to get them.
But he's got an RC car as well. So Kiwi's got streaks, has the specialist. You know, his team is in a much better spot to win this game. And look how sneaky TP is right now. Maven don't want to spoil it to 4v1. Oh, he was going for the ninja defuse right there. Gets taken out.
You got to try it, right?
Yeah, you got it.
You're in the 1v4. TP tries to sneak the ninja in, unfortunately. Kiwi set up. Too smart, ready to close it down.
Well, he had his psychosis ability. Maybe he would have been able to throw that out on bomb, get one player to just run over there, just maybe shoot at it, catch somebody off guard. Might have been the time to use it right there. But a 1v4, really, nothing you could do about it.
All right, so game 2 in the books. Team Kiwi down early, 0-2. They rip, 4 straight, and they're able to win the game there. I guess what stood out for you, was that more they got their stuff together, or was it the fact that Team TP got up early? They didn't really use their specialist abilities early. They
didn't really use them to their full effect, right? You know, they got them, they didn't use them together, didn't kind of combine them in one round to really solidify a victory. They just kind of used them one by one and ended up hurting them in the end.
All right, well, we do have Tommy set up with a post-match interview with Scott. Take it away.
Thanks, guys. Now, Tommy, as a fan and as a viewer, I love watching you guys play Search and Destroy. It's absolutely incredible. Now, with these new features and these new gameplay elements, how do you feel like it's kind of like shaped the mode?
It's improved it drastically, because now you've got different sort of avenues you can go down, and before the game you can sort of build your strategy in the bans and protect. So if you want to just play for picks and so on, protect vision pulse and so on like that. So it's improved it a lot.
You know, in that match, I watched your beloved Annihilator get banned right off the bat as some sort of punishment for the game 1, I think. But then you got the save with the vision pulse being protected, but you didn't have a great opportunity to execute against that. What's the penalty to you when you don't pick the right time to use it?
Well, it only lasts for like 2 seconds. It just does the whole scan of the map. So pretty much I sort of used it prematurely. Like I just used it to start the round to see where they were going. Whereas if I saved it later on, I could have then we could have played as a team and got a pick. So it could have changed the whole game.
Awesome. Well, that was an intense round, and I'm excited to see the third and final one. So thank you so much, Tommy. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Vaughn.
Yes.
We have seen 2 exciting matches, but we've also seen kind of these new suite of COD casting tools you guys are introducing, which, really kind of enhance the experience in a big way. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Let's talk about COD casting for a moment. Yeah. So there's a couple things that were really important to us with COD casting. As I've said, it's just as important to be able to spectate a game as it is to be able to play one. So we wanted to make sure that COD casting wasn't burdensome to set up in any way. Right? So in Black Ops 2, the caster can specify which settings he or she wants to use pre-game in the lobby before they even start. And those settings can be saved as part of the custom settings so you can be recalled and they're always available. Although we always want the caster to be able to quickly access all those common views, there's only so many buttons on a controller, right? So that's why we developed the quick settings menu. That's on the left trigger for the casters. So they can pull up all the commonly used caster tools, access them, edit, get back to the game as fast as possible just by simply pulling the left trigger and then pulling it again when they're done. Now, these are both tools that make it easier for the caster, but we also need to make sure that they can focus on providing the best experience to the audience. That's just as important as some of the new tools that you're seeing being demonstrated here. The player loadout widget is the big one. The player loadout widget gives the caster the ability to call up and specify any details that he wants. This can be any specialist weapon, ability, equipment, perks, wildcards. It can be any combination of those, as many or as few as he needs. Although the casters always do a phenomenal job of memorizing the names of hundreds of pieces of game content, they don't have to because the widget is scrollable so they can see exactly what's been equipped. But my favorite caster feature, and one that I've been thinking about for a very long time, has been the team identity. So as you can see in this broadcast, the casters specify the exact names of the teams. They can change out the team logo. They can set the colors that represent the team for the cast. This replaces everything in the game about team factions. It gives the caster the best way to represent the competition to his or her audience.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like looking at it, these are features and tools that were otherwise reserved for very elaborate productions, events like this. But with Black Ops 3, it's like right in game. So, it's really exciting. But in addition to that, you have one bit of other extra news, which is how you're improving the kind of just the ability to just jump in and see a match.
So I'd love to have every single Call of Duty player tuned into the highest level of competitive game. But we don't control every screen in the world, but that means we need to come up with some tricks, and Treyarch has some good tricks up their sleeves here. So I'm very excited to tell everybody that the best way to understand competitive is to watch it to be played at the competitive level. So for Black Ops 3, we've created the live event viewer. So major events like this one can be piped directly into the game so everyone can experience the intense action. One button press pulls up any major events live stream directly inside the game, full screen, so none of the details will get missed. Now to us, the live event viewer and a lot of the other things that we've been talking about and have mentioned are just really the beginning of a huge plan that we have to grow Call of Duty Esports.
Yeah, and I think, as much as that's all very well and exciting, like you said, it's really all about seeing it in the flesh. So let's toss it back to Maven and Mr. X to set up the next match.
David Vonderhaar, Treyarch Studios. I love you.
Yeah, it's made podcast really easy to use.
Everything that is amazing. Easier for me, I'm a fan of. Yes. I can barely handle the controller for this stuff. So the more you make it simple, the more I love it. This is incredible. The live event viewer.
With the team identities, you're able to just go in there and type in, Team TP, Team Kiwi, Optic, FaZe, whoever's playing at an event, you're able to change it on the fly. It's just so easy. It's going to make for just a great broadcast experience.
So many more tools. Love all the features and information we are getting out of Vaughn. Now, looking forward to Game 3. We are going to be having an Uplink coming up next.
Yeah, so Uplink in Black Ops 3. It's going to be interesting to see how the specialist draft and everything works in this game mode as well. You look at a Ruin Overdrive, right? The initiate the boost for that speed. That might be one that you want to ban for an OBJ player right off the rip. But tell me a little bit about evac, Matt, maybe.
Well, evac is an abandoned emergency evacuation zone atop an overground rooftop in the middle of Singapore's flooded quarantine zone. I know you're watching from all around the world. We're traversing the globe right now in gameplay.
Yeah, no.
I've never been to Singapore. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game. I'm interested to see how Uplink plays in Black Ops 3.
Yeah, me too.
Right? Such a great game mode from Advanced Warfare. Have some great moments in competitive play. I think it's going to be interesting to watch how this draft all plays out.
Yeah, this will be amazing. And I know we've touched on it multiple times, but when we talk about the specialist pick, when we talk about the bans and protects, they're they're map and game mode specific. There are things that are going to change. Like the way that this is going to change over the course of a game's lifetime is just absolutely phenomenal. Let's kick things off here, Matt, with TP and Gotaga.
TP and Gotaga are going to be the first two to pick. So I imagine TP is going to try and go for that Ruin Overdrive. He's going to ban that Man of War right off the rip, though. Buzzo, he's had a tough go.
Sorry, Buzzo.
Gotaga, though, is going to return and ban the Annihilator for Tommy, so they don't want to deal with that at all.
Well, think about the extra armor you have as the carrier.
Yeah.
Annihilator kind of eliminates that, doesn't it?
Right, and then, Sensor, though, gets hurt by that as well. He's a big fan of the Annihilator pistol on his squad. He can't use it as well. But you figure Tommy, he went off a little bit more than Sensor. They gain more than they lose right there.
Absolutely. And then you're going to see Kiwi protecting the Kuda. That thing has been an melt machine, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every time we've seen these players getting up close and personal, able to absolutely go off with that thing. Such a dangerous up-close weapon.
Yeah, and then Tommy and Buzzo, Tommy's going to go for the UAV. I like that. Not going to be able to find out where they are running the drone. The counter UAV going to come out of Buzzo. So interesting two selections there. Merc and Sensor going to be the last two. Maybe they go for the Prophet glitch. Ban that. We're going to see the Guardian at the hands of Sensor go, and you're going to see Annie up for Merc. That's going to be eliminated. Now we go to the specialist draft. This is where things get interesting, maybe. I think you're going to see a lot more of the abilities come into play, and then maybe, per team, one or two of the weapons to try and guide the way with the drone.
I couldn't agree more. Overdrive, not surprised at all to see TP.
That's been his go-to for the objective-based game.
He's going to want the objective in his hand as he pushes forward for the uplink.
Gotaga probably goes for a weapon. He's more of a slaying type of player, and he actually goes for a reject, which is a good one on this one. We've seen him time and time again, with the assault rifle play a little bit further back. And when you're trying to control the drone, let's say you drop, and it's a big part of the game, you use that reject, come right in
Think about the game we had earlier today. It's a last-second push. They're trying to get forward. It's a tied game, 3-3. Yeah. They need to get one more through. They had two players, they had the one player that had reject up. He had someone in front of him. He drops his reject. They get forward. They get the toss in with, 1 second on the clock? Without that reject, that play does not get made.
I think Kiwi taking that Reaper Psychosis, he's able to spawn those drones. Well, he could do it while he has the uplink in his hand. You know, that buys him 2-3 seconds, able to put it in. Tommy, he's going to go for that Tempest. Like we said, that's a charge shot weapon that fires the electricity.
Do you think that has a big play here? I see it more, I guess, in Hardpoint. I see it being a pretty effective.
He might have something up his sleeve.
Maybe around drone when you have, well, how many, on this map in particular, on evac, we've seen 5-6 people really in around that drone spawn. So maybe he's hoping he can get a little bit of splash damage there.
Sensor with the Ruin Overdrive, not shocked. He's really the OBJ player for Team Kiwi. And then you got Merc using the gravity spikes. I would have liked that on Hardpoint out of Merc. Able to go into the hardpoints, break that up. Now going to the creative class system.
All right, tied 1-1. Team Kiwi, Team TP. This one is for all the marbles. The players are getting fired up. We're ready to load in. This should be an incredible uplink on evac.
Who do you think takes this one?
Who do I think takes this?
Match. I'm going to ask you who you think, because you were going to throw me under the bus and make me pick first. So
okay, I'm okay with this. I'm going with Team TP.
Yeah?
Yes, I am. Because you used to coach him. I know you're going to pick him, but you won't pick the same thing as me.
I'll take Team Kiwi.
All right.
I expect Buzzo to have a big game. Buzzo, he's got that scythe ability on the Reaper. Step, massive high caliber, gun coming out of his hand. It's a machine gun. It's going to be really effective.
All right, getting ready to roll here. You got a shot there of Tommy and Merc, all smiles. They're feeling confident, ready to get rolling here in game number 3.
I want to know what Tommy has up his sleeve with that Tempest pick.
I have no idea. I was trying to think of where.
I haven't seen him run that the entire time we've been watching, so that's an interesting call. And
he just saved it for game 3, right?
Well, him, Teep, and Merc have been discussing strategy all day. I mean, they're sitting next to each other right now, just kind of coming up with different routes to run. You see, they're going to edit their score streaks now. Figure out what everybody wants to run on the squad.
Well, let's talk about score streaks. I guess what do you think would be most effective in a game like Uplink? Do you think with your basics, your Hellstorm, your Lightning?
Oh, those are going to be huge in Uplink. Those are going to be huge.
I think so too. I mean, especially really offensively, defensively. I mean, you think of it like you would a CTF. You're going to be able to make big plays as people are going to get forward.
I mean, the Uplink has the Lightning Strike has that ping. I mean, you're able to figure out where players are. You can call that out to the teammates. Then you can decide where you're going to put it. And game loading up. You see right there. Going to be Team TP versus Team Kiwi. I have Kiwi's team. You have TP's team.
I've never been wrong.
We've seen Uplink, played on this game before. Obviously, we've had the privilege to watch it. It's fast-paced, like you see it now. But I think it takes even more teamwork, right?
I couldn't agree more. Just due to the pacing of it, it definitely, we've seen it taking quite a bit more teamwork, a lot more about control. Let's take a look here off the rip. I'm going to start things off with TP. Now, you'll take a look at the top middle of the screen, really, right under the time. You'll see it says away, basically showing that no one's going to have the drone in their hand. As soon as TP picks that up, it's going to now show TP. So just get an eye on there. You'll be able to see who's going to be carrying it. He also, remember, he has overdrive. He doesn't have it up yet. He's going to be taken out pretty much immediately, going to be dropped there. It's going to move forward. We're going to see Sensor getting his hands on the drone here early.
But he's going to have to be careful when he uses that overdrive, right? I mean, you get dropped so fast with the drone. If you use it just single-handedly, you see Sensor, he's going to bait players out with that drone on the ground.
He's got it already. He's got
overdrive already. I mean, Sensor just absolutely crushes that player. You see how fast he's going. Goes over one. Able to throw in a one-point play right off the rip.
That was disgusting.
Doug Sensor Martin.
Peace and love. Able to come up huge there. You got Gotaga was 3-0. I'm going to switch over to Buzzo. He's 4-0 right now. He's ready to get going. You can see he chose a weapon in this one. Gonna end up dropping there. Flexi is struggling at 0-3. I'm gonna go over to make it 0-4. We'll switch to Tommy on Team TP. They're trailing by 1. Remember, this game for all the marbles gonna be our final game, tied 1-1.
And Tommy has that Tempest. Tried to get a shot off, wasn't able to, and it's got to get charged up. You see Gotaga trying to get in, uses the reject with the drone in hand, able to put in a 2-point play. So you see the use of the specialist abilities, able to help their teams put in those points.
And it's going to be now going to Sensor. He's just going to toss it out, get guns up. Not able to win that one as Tommy comes flying in. Everyone vying for control right now. Closest man to the action. It's going to be the French sensation, Gotaga. He's set up here. You can see he's got his specialist ready. Kiwi.
He's going to use Kiwi's drone
use him as bait,
that player out. And him and Sensor are going to push off the map. You're going to see he's going to use that rejag ability. Try and turn around, pick up TP as TP's trying the Reaper specialist with the sight. That robot arm that transforms into a higher counter
Not the most accurate toss there from Kiwi. That's not going to fall through, but they still have a 3-0 advantage here, Matt.
I want to see if Buzzo can get that minigun and they can kind of take Team TP and put them in a spawn trap. If he's able to just lock down those lanes, go for some easy points. Like, you could rally, if Buzzo's able to go big with that.
Oh, and there it is. Look at the drones just being, he has hip fires through his own drones. Basically, you see with the X-ray vision here as he's going to spot.
Tommy started running away.
Yeah, we can see what he's going to be pushing right now. You can see currently, drone is away. Everyone is like really vying for control right now. They're getting forward, trying to get eyes on with the next man. It's going to be Merc. Merc's set up on top.
He has the gravity spikes.
He's got eyes
on Merc. I want to see if he decides to use them.
You know, you can see basically that carrier right below him. And they put, so I was trying to see if he was going to use it at the same time. They fired through another dunk, so they're going to have a 5-0 advantage. Really, Team Kiwi running away with this one after getting beat up in that game 1 hardpoint.
Yeah, and you know, Teep struggling right now. 4-11, got to get going in the OBJ department. You see Merc able to get a care package, so we should stay on with him, see what he decides to do, whether he's going to use that care package through the respawn. Gonna call it in, see what he gets with it.
All right, we'll keep eyes on here if it's going to be dropping in. Under 2 minutes to go in this one. He's still got his specialists up as well. TP, though, is going to have drone in his hands. I just want to see what he's getting, and then I'll switch over to TP or carrier.
So he's got a UAV. Now, it's going to help TP know where the opponents are as he's trying to score this for his team. You see he's going to use this area to wall run. He's going to quit that overdrive at the right time.
He jumped over it!
Jumped over it! TP!
Too much overdrive.
Yeah, Teep got a little bit too excited there. He's like, I am going to make a huge play. Everyone's going to go crazy, and then now
he just jumped over the backboard.
Right, he's the laughter of everyone here. Yeah.
Not able to pick it up. It's going to be down. Sensor is able to grab it. Can he get it? Gonna toss it off here. And they've still got this 5-0 lead. Unfortunately, what was going to be a sick play from TP, I was going to say comes up a little short, sort of the opposite of that.
It actually overjumps the satellite scoring area. It's going to be Sensor with overdrive ready. See when he decides to do it. He's going to pre-aim this door. He's going to get one. Then he gets killed by Tommy's Tempest. You see a jump to Kiwi. Tommy able to take out 2 there in the middle. We said how he was going to use that.
Oh, there you go.
You saw it come into effect right there. That was awesome.
Able to pick up a couple there, switching over to TP. He's going to grab it for just a second before he falls. He's double negative right now at 8 and 16. Not having the best game 3, but I expect the veteran to step it up. We got 30 seconds here left on the first side. Who's able to pick it up? It's going to fall to Tommy. Now, can Tommy get forward? Instead of resetting, he's going to decide to wrap.
He's going to go for that same route that Teep used. It's such a great route. I mean, you can get that height while wall running, and then you're able to just jump in for that score, or even you're able to throw it off the wall here. Tommy's going to go for it too. He's going to put it in. So Team TP going to get on the board here with 10 seconds left.
And I think it was Gotaga that got a kill just a second too late. It's away with 5 seconds. I don't think anyone's in a position really to fire one last one through. Last second going to tick off the clock. And 5-2. This could very easily be 5-4 though, if it wasn't for TP jumping out of the stadium.
Yeah, then on Uplink, we're going to switch sides. Going to play another round. Obviously, scores will accumulate. It's going to be very interesting to see if Team TP can make the comeback.
Only down 3. Obviously not remotely out of this. Over the past day or so, we've seen some ridiculous comebacks here. And again, if it wasn't for one mishap, this would basically be a tie game right now. Who do you want to start off on side 2? I know we do see Flex is going to have...
absolutely crushing right now.
All right, let's go to Gotaga.
21-11. Haven't given him enough love. One of the best players in all of France. We're known for his really high sensitivity, right? We see Gotaga make some amazing plays. Able to pick off one right out the rip.
It gets one. Drone with the Tommy for this second is now going to be backed to Sensor. I got him highlighted on your minimap. We're going to see him trying to get forward, going to the north side. Gotaga's going to be the one leading the way. So going to stay with him just a second. As he's basically his cover is they're trying to get forward. He's going to drop. I'll kick it back to Sensor. He's going to have your drone. There comes the speed. Tries to fly through. Gets the shot off just as he gets zapped.
And Tommy hits him with that Tempest. But Sensor able to get it off right in the nick of time. Big play right there out of Sensor. He's been doing some great work in the OBJ department.
Yeah, some of these shots he had, that first one he had with overdrive and that one, I mean, he got that off with, half a second to go, really, before he fell. They have a 4-point advantage right now, sticking with him just for a second through the respawn. I'm actually going to go over to Buzzo, as Buzzo is currently on a 4 streak, and he's melting. He's got side set up, not able to get the second as he pushed him. How deadly is that,
And that is great when you have a spawn trap set up, right? So Buzzo wants to keep that in his hand, so they get a 4 dead. They know exactly where the other team's spawning. He pops that specialist ability. He's probably able to get 2-3 players coming off spawn.
Couldn't agree more, Matt. We've got Tommy, though. You can see there, it's also, I haven't really pointed out, but kind of underneath the reticle there, you can see his armor. It's going to show him getting forward. He has full armor, going to be taken out almost instantly. Must have had a couple players shooting him. It's going to drop to Sensor. Sensor's got it. They don't want to throw it out. They're going to wrap. You saw this work effectively earlier. The same duo. He had Gotaga leading the way. Sensor going to be your carrier. They're trying to get forward. Let's see if we can get some more magic here out of Doug Sensor Martin.
Yeah, and Buzzo's over there with him. He's going to win a gunfight versus Teep. You see Gotaga's going to try and lead the way. You see Sensor go from wall to wall.
That time.
Not able to connect with that throw, but he has his overdrive. So next time he has the drone, maybe it'll make something happen. Let's stay on with Merc. He's got that gravity spikes. I want to see when he decides to use it.
3 minutes left on the clock. They're trailing by 4. Merc and TP, the veteran players, have got to come up clutch here. You see TP getting one. He's 17 and 23, trying to climb back in it, but it is going to be Buzzo that currently has the drone, and he's got home free for the most part. You can see they're spawning at the bottom of the map. He's trying to get forward. If they just execute this quickly, he should have a 1-point toss. Shots coming in, and he's going to get dropped right outside. No one else there to pick it up. This should be a toss out by Merc. I think he's been on reset duty, but this time he's going to get forward. You see the pass to TP. He's going to pass it to
Teep, because Teep has more of that OBJ setup with that overdrive ability. Merc going to try and clear the way with the gravity spikes. I think they're going to try and bait people into this room for Merc. Try and make a play here. They actually have Tommy with the Tempest set up right outside.
And that's not going to work. He's just going to try and boost through. Not going to be able to fly through a wall of players there. And it's going to fall to Buzzo. Buzzo's got it in hand, and he's going to wrap. We saw a similar play from Sensor and Gotaga earlier.
Yeah, and you saw Buzzo before. He probably had an easier score, just didn't bring it up the map. And it's obviously a lot easier for us to say we have X-Ray.
No, well, wouldn't you rather have somebody like he's ready to go here?
Oh, no, he's ready to go with his.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Pass it off, hold Aaron, it's back there.
Boom.
Light it up.
And that's the right
he
play.
Gets one kill, and then he drops.
Right, then you really get that diversity of who's a Slayer, who's an OBJ player, right?
Yep.
You know, you pass it to the players who have those OBJ abilities, let Buzzo use that minigun to clear the way, and it really just defines roles that much better than specialists.
Well, Sensor getting forward, they're starting to pull away here, 7-2, and then you saw the reject there as he's able to pop back up, provides a bit of a distraction, but not able to get it through. Do they have anyone there to get it? I think it was Gotaga, able to fire it through with the dunk.
I don't think they intended it, but when Sensor had the drone, Gotaga uses rejack and that smoke came up. As soon as the smoke came up, you saw Sensor pop his overdrive and then try and use the smoke from Gotaga coming back to fight in front of him back to life to try and run that drone in.
Worked as a great distraction, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, here they are getting forward yet again. You can see they've really been enjoying this north side of the map as they're coming forward. Can he make the jump? Gets cut down. Is there anybody else there maybe in a position to make the play? Kiwi was there for a second. Gotaga's coming from behind. Buzzo was there. He fell. Gotaga might have a chance. There's two. Can he get the third? Oh, loses the gunfight.
That would have been a huge kill if he was able to pick that up.
He had the dunk. Free dunk if he wins that one. But honestly, at this point, 45 seconds on the clock. Team
TP has to do something massive here if they're going to make this comeback. And if you're Gotaga, you don't even need the drone at this point, right? Maybe in 30 seconds left, you have rejack. You can just stay right on the drone spawn and come back to life, fight a second time. I mean, your teammates would have been up by now, but it seems like they're going to go for another score.
And how many times have we seen this kind of grabbing drone, instead of pushing forward, they're wrapping back. They've been wrapping around the back and taking the north side. Didn't really see that from the players when they first started playing the map. Already starting to develop a bit here. The toss goes way off to the right. Not able to sink that one. Clock is ticking away. This is Team Kiwi's game. There is no amount of miracles that can bring back TP.
You've seen Kiwi go massive. Same with Gotaga. Sensor doing a nice job in the OBJ department. You see Gotaga picking up one here. He's just trying to pad his stats a little bit. Buzzo's been so consistent all day long. Team Kiwi wins this one. And you went with TP. You tried to take that prediction away from me. You thought you were Sly going first.
I really did.
You baited me into it.
They looked so good in the game one respawn. They disappeared. They fell apart. I'm going to be having a long, stern discussion with Merc and TP tonight.
Well, once they kind of figured out the opposing team after that first respawn, you saw the bans and protects change. And that's, Uplink right there. And Tommy without the Annihilator pistol.
So what was the difference maker? What was the difference maker in this series? Would you argue, it's early on. Do you think that Team Kiwi adjusted to specialists and bans and protects a little bit quicker? Because that game one, I mean, that was an easy win.
Game
for Team
two,
TP.
we saw Team TP. They didn't really use their specialists to their fullest potential. And then in game 3 right there, you saw Team Kiwi take out the Annihilator pistol, do some stuff that changed up the roles on Team TP, and they never really could figure it out.
They let me down. I thought I had a strong choice. It felt good at the time, Matt.
In fairness, I would have taken Team TP.
Yeah, 100%.
If you would have asked me, I would have taken them.
I knew if you were going first, you were going to take it. I tried to make the sneaky play. Unfortunately, they come up a bit short, but excellent to see. Now we have Uplink being played on Black Ops 3.
And it looks great.
As fun as ever, right?
I mean, it looks just as fun as ever. I mean, even more fun. It just plays so smooth. Uplink, a fan favorite game mode of everyone in the esports community.
All right, well, that is it for Matt and I. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to toss it over to Scott and Vaughn, center stage.
Mr. X, Maven, those were some of the greatest games I've ever seen. Thanks for coming out here and helping us showcase the game tonight.
Guys, thank you very much for coming out to Gamescom. Now, we know this was a showcase for fun, but we do have something for you as a token of our thanks. PlayStation heard that you guys were going to be on the stream, and as the new home of Call of Duty Esports, wanted to make sure that you didn't walk home empty-handed. On behalf of Sony and PlayStation, please accept these PlayStation 4s. Thank you very much for coming out.
It's been... Thank you. It's been an absolute blast watching these guys compete and talking with you about all these features, Vaughn. Thank you so much for taking the time.
This has been awesome. Look, it's always really humbling and exciting to see all of this in action. The team back in Santa Monica has been working very hard for the last 3 years. It's really things like this, the fan reaction and the push, really helps us out and regenerate, sort of gives us the energy we need to push towards the launch of the game.
All right. Well, but between all that we've seen here tonight, the multiplayer betas launched on PS4 on August 19th, and everything else the team at Treyarch has cooked up, there's certainly a lot to look forward to when Black Ops 3 launches on November 6th. And for fans of esports, Treyarch and Activision will have even more exciting news about additional features, leagues, and seasons in the months ahead. You won't want to miss it. For now, however, our show draws to an end. For more on Black Ops 3 and Call of Duty Esports, check out callofduty.com and be sure to follow Call of Duty, Treyarch, and Activision on Twitter. On behalf of everyone here in Germany and the teams back home, thanks so much for watching and have an amazing night.